For 30 years, Glenn Dodge worked as an experienced, sought-after home builder.
Started doing some construction work and remodeling with a company in D.C., and then I worked my way from there into a position of basically framing houses, supervision, and that kind of thing.
Things changed when the housing market crashed.
We found ourselves with a bunch of houses that couldn't sell, so we had to go ahead and back off of building. It was a difficult time.
So bad that Glenn was laid off, putting him out of a job for the first time in his adult life.
It was really difficult in that, you know, you feel like someone's pulled the carpet out from underneath you, and so your whole world totally shifts. We actually ended up having to sell the house, and we moved into an apartment.
Glenn has moved from one temporary job to another, a total of 12 in the 6 years since losing his job.
I've worked for a couple of employees since the major layoff, and most of it's been in remodeling, but they've actually gone through situations where they've had work and then, you know, it's dried up, so there's no work there and they've had to lay off. So I've had that happen twice.
The 55-year-old represents just one segment of the country's unemployed. Paul Conway is with Generation Opportunity, a nonprofit advocacy group in Arlington, Virginia. He says the weak labor market has hit 18 to 29-year-olds especially hard.
It's a situation, it's a national issue that impacts all Americans, but particularly for young Americans.
Recent college graduates have a tough time finding work.
Nearly 50% of them are either unemployed or underemployed. So when they go to look for work, they're having to settle for jobs that don't require that degree, and they have to compete against workers who do have those degrees or even master's degrees, who themselves are older but may be settling for jobs normally reserved for entry level.
The picture gets worse for the long-term unemployed, those out of work for more than 27 weeks. They total almost 5 million people and account for 40% of the unemployed. The most recent jobless report dropped to 7.8%, the first time it moved below 8% in nearly 4 years. Despite those new numbers, more than 12 million Americans need work. Crowds line up at job fairs across the country.
It can be a struggle, most definitely. Gas prices, continue to rise. Food prices are very up, kind of expensive. So just to live on an everyday basis can be very difficult in these days and times.
Conway says the lower unemployment rate points to an even bigger problem.
You're having the decrease in unemployment right now. It's more people are dropping out of the workforce. It's not that new jobs are being created.
Many of those giving up are older. Statistics show the number of people 55 and up without a job or underemployed is growing. Despite years of experience, older laid-off workers compete for the same jobs as younger job seekers. Maurice Johnston's story is just one of hundreds posted on YouTube. His resume includes 2 master's degrees, one in plasma physics from Dartmouth and another in electrical engineering from Purdue. After 10 years at Lockheed Aerospace and stints at teaching, he received a pink slip.
Now I'm staying in a homeless shelter. I've been looking for work. I've come close several times, but they usually want someone younger.
Frustrated, more and more people are settling for part-time work because the economy isn't adding enough full-time job opportunities.
What's really going on is that they're in a job that they've either taken because they had to or they had to settle with one that's below their education level and below their skill level and therefore below their earnings potential. And that's a major issue that's going on right now.
You are the hope to the hopeless and broken.
Meanwhile, Glenn still needs a stable job. He says he is trusting God to see him and his family through the tough times.
You're hopeful in that, okay, Lord, you know what you have in front of me, and you know what my needs are. And I'm hopeful that he's going to supply all my needs, which he's promised to according to his riches.
Charlene Israel, CBN News.